2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to Views with Joyce Waddell. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. We have an interesting show for you. We're going to be talking with Brian Polk and Debbie Gibbs. Debbie's with Life Share of the Carolinas. And Brian is a recipient of a kidney, a very special kidney. We're going to be talking about his life. We're going to be talking about how he has a new lease on life. And our topic for tonight is the gift of life as we approach this year and as we enter the year 2011. We have very interesting things that we resolve to do, that we resolve to do better, a better life, that we resolve to help others, that we resolve to think about donating our organs when we no longer need them. And so, welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
And welcome, Debbie.
Thank you.
And Brian, you have something very interesting that happened to you recently, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am. I got a kidney from Chris Henry, the NFL star who had passed last year.
And when did you find out that you were going to receive that kidney?
I was on my way to the gym, and I had gotten a phone call, and they told me to come to the hospital, and I was going to get a kidney.
And how long had you been on the waiting list, waiting for a kidney? You're such a young man to have kidney failure, and you're active. You're going to the gym every day.
I had been on dialysis for 10 years, so I've been on the waiting list about 6 years or so, off and on. So I would say about a good 6 years, though.
You know, oftentimes you see people who don't even know people, and they believe in donating a kidney. They believe in life. And they can be healthy individuals and just all of a sudden donate a kidney to someone. Mm-hmm. But in your case, someone thought of you. I thought about giving, about the life of donating a life, didn't they?
Yeah, his mom, his fiance, when the unfortunate accident happened, they had the mind, the heart to give, and through their giving, I got a second lease on life, you know. It's sometimes God, he used different things, different people, and you're surprised at how it affects other people, strangers from different places, different walks of life. You have no idea or no clue how we're all connected. But in a sense, we are.
Now, the other thing, we have a newspaper article here, and I'm going to ask him that our cameraman is going to pick it up, and I want you to share with us about this newspaper article. And I don't want him to show the city that it's from, but it's from one of our states in the far west. Mm-hmm. It's from California.
Yes.
So your history has gone, and this newsmaking event has gone all the way out to California.
Yes, that's
as
correct.
well as all of the Charlotte papers. And he's going to point out something as he points to that. There he is right there. There's something happening in that picture. What is it? You can see it.
Basically, we was standing with his mom, taking a picture. And it was, the idea was to show how one person could affect the lives of others as far as just sharing and being considerate of life, how fragile, how valuable it is. Even in her at her time of loss, she thought of how she could help others and give and help change other people's lives.
And that's you and his mom together?
That's me and the other organ recipients.
Oh, all of y'all are together?
Yeah, with his mom in the front. And basically, in the picture, his mother's in the front. I'm in the very back, but we're all touching each other.
Oh, okay.
So we're all connected.
Okay, that's
like a circle of life.
That's the picture there.
Yeah, that's the picture, yeah.
That's his mom in the center.
That's his mom in the center. I'm in the back, and the other organ recipients are around. We're all holding each other's hands. And it basically symbolized how from one person, it can reach other people, how it can impact and help other people. So that's basically what the picture represents.
Okay. And so the photographer who took that, did he give y'all everybody a copy of it?
John for the LA Times. Yes, he. Well, we're supposed to get copies, but he took so many pictures, so I guess that's just the one he used.
Well, often photographers have to take a lot of pictures to get the really shot that they want.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And so she wanted to know where the organs were going. His mom, I mean.
I guess, I don't know if she said this was closure for her.
Closure, okay.
This was closure for her to meet us, to see how Chris passing impacted other people's lives, how he still is living on, and how he helped other people. And she felt like it was very important for this to happen. It means a lot. She said this helps her handle her loss as far as losing her child, to know that even though he passed, he still lives on in a sense.
And how old was he?
I think he was like 27, 28.
Something like that, 26, 27
Yeah.
years old. So he was young and he had a young kidney.
Yeah, a strong kidney. He was an NFL player, so thank God for that. He had a strong body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a strong commitment.
Yeah, it is.
Now, you found out that you had kidney failure when you were young because you were on dialysis for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. When I was a child, I had high blood pressure.
As a child?
Yes, I was always a big kid. I played football. So when you play
Did you
sports,
play in Charlotte?
I played at Independence High School.
Were you on one of those award-winning teams?
No, unfortunately, by the time I graduated in '95, so I was there before the legacy started. You know what I'm saying? But
the legacy started and it also ended, didn't it?
Yeah, so nothing good lasts forever.
That's right. So you played football? I
played football, and then when you play football, I wrestled also. When you play those type of sports, they encourage weightlifting, getting bigger and stronger. So I had planned on going to college, playing ball and stuff like that. So I worked out all the time, lifted a lot of weights, got real big, real strong, and that was it was pushed in school. You have weightlifting in school. They let you get weightlifting classes and stuff like that just to enhance your muscles, your body and stuff. So I was into all that. So
where somebody's taking physical science, you're taking weightlifting.
When somebody's taking English, I'm taking weightlifting. I only took the coaches only have you take the necessity classes you have to take. Anything else is weightlifting, gym, activities, physical.
That's going to relate to
what you're
you
doing.
Being a better football player.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when it got to astronautical engineering, you couldn't take that?
No, I wasn't in that. I wasn't programmed to do that. I was programmed to play sports. So
you was programmed to play sports from your very birth. That's something that you inherited.
Yeah, as a young child. Yeah, you played.
It was written in your genetic code from birth to be
an athlete. That's what I was trying to be. Pursuing that. So pursued it all the way as far as I could go with it. So my body was basically built for that. And when that didn't happen, I still had this body. So I had high blood pressure as a kid. I was a big kid, and my mom started taking me to the doctor, and they found protein in my urine. And at the time down south, in the South, the doctors wasn't as advanced as the doctors in the North, so they couldn't tell us what protein in your urine really meant.
Well, you were just born in 1977, so they should have known that. I mean, that should have been that advanced.
Well, at the time, it wasn't, because we was going to Kaiser Permanente.
They don't exist anymore. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they used to be off Central back then in the 90s, across from Eastern Mall. Mm-hmm. And we was going there, and the doctors didn't know what it meant. So they basically put me on the blood pressure medicine, but I was a child, I was a kid. So if I'm a kid, if I don't feel sick, I don't think I'm sick, I don't take my medicine. Because I'm just a kid, I'm just a teenager, I don't know.
And nobody's gonna make you follow you around every day and make you take it.
I mean, they just assume, they assume I'm taking it, but I'm not.
You weren't taking it.
I wasn't taking it. I'm not telling them I'm not taking it. I'm a kid. I don't know. I just want to go hang out and play sports and stuff. I don't know I need to take my medicine every day. You know, I don't eat vegetables every day. I'm supposed to do that.
You do now, don't you?
I'm a vegetarian.
So you don't eat meat at all?
I don't eat meat at all.
How do you get your protein?
I take protein shakes every day. I work out. I go to the GMC.
Oh, you back to doing what you were doing now, so you're going to go and play some pro ball?
No, I'm going to play pro-life. That's what I'm going to play, pro-life. But I work out. I change my lifestyle, change my diet. I exercise a lot. I research as far as like what's healthy for me.
That's
I take
very good.
fish oil. I do. In my situation, being sick for so long, 10 years, a lot of people, you're not expected to live past 3 to 5 years on dialysis. I lived for 10 years on dialysis. I broke my neck 3 years ago. I've been through a lot of stuff. For me to have, Jesus had a lot to do with me making it. He really carried me through my situation, my Lord and Savior. But I had to take the extra step to research my situation.
On the computer?
On the computer. I had to go in and find things in GNC stores. I had to exercise. I had to.
You had to have the desire to live, the desire to do better.
Yeah, I had to fight it off. Mm-hmm. So I exercised.
And you had the willpower.
Yeah.
Because you wanted it. You wanted it.
Well, I never thought I was going to die. I watched a lot of people die. I watched a lot of people give up on life, but being so young, I became emotionally dead. I couldn't feel death. I couldn't feel it. I would see people die, it wouldn't affect me. I became very cold because I watched so many people die as a young age. So when I would see...
Well, wait a minute. When you watch these people die, were they getting murdered in the streets, gang violence and that kind of thing?
From dialysis, from them losing their fight. I watched people lose their fight with life, for
Audience,
life.
Thank you. Audience, we're continuing to talk with Brian Polk as we talk about the gift of life and starting this year, 2011, with a new kidney and with the gift of life and a desire to live and a desire to help others. We also have Debbie Gibbs from Life Share of the Carolinas with us. And she is very good about encouraging people and telling the story. Aren't you, Debbie?
Well, I try. And, I appreciate always the opportunity to come on your show and to have an opportunity to reach out to your audience to try to encourage other people to consider being donors too. As you mentioned, the beginning of the year, and, everybody's making New Year's resolutions. We're all going to lose weight, or we're going to exercise more, or, call home, or whatever people's resolutions are. And so we're encouraging people, if they haven't already, to put on their resolution list to sign up to be an organ donor.
And I hope your email address and how to get in touch with you will be on the screen under your name. You told them to do that, didn't you?
Well, I'll tell them now. They can reach us at lifesharecarolinas.org.
Okay.
And they can sign up online through our website. Or, people can also, of course, go to the DMV when it's time to have their license renewed and just say yes to donation, and they'll put a little red heart on their license.
And if nobody remembers to ask them, then they need to say.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Audience, we're going to pause for a moment. And as we pause, we're going to listen to some sights and sounds. Don't go away, because Brian is going to share with us what you can do and how you can make a difference in somebody's life. And he's going to share with us the difference that it will make. Sometimes it's just a small thing, and you think it will not help. Every little thing helps. Even words of encouragement helps. And it helps everybody to know that someone is thinking about them, always. And as he said earlier, organ donation is it's a human thing. It's not a child thing, because it's not an adult thing. It's not an old people thing, because he's seen all types of people at the Kidney Center for different reasons who are on dialysis.
Hold it, Vernon. Come on. A little bit longer, Vernon. A lot longer, Vernon. Hold it, Bernie. Come on. Come on, Bernie. Hold it. Come on, Bernie. Hold it.
One of the things that, yeah, we didn't talk about
A
is
little bit
there
longer.
were,
Come on.
in addition to Brian, there was
Yeah, hold it, Bernie. Just like water everlasting, everything goes on, still moving strong, on and on. Do you ever wonder, yeah, that the way somebody's got to lose?
Audience, we'll continue to talk with Brian Polk and with Debbie Gibbs as we talk about the gift of life and about the kidney that he received from Chris Henry. Chris Henry was on the back of a truck and fell off the back of a truck and died. And as a result of his death, other people now live with the organs that his mother donated. Chris Henry was a football player and he played for the NFL national team. And so his memory lives on in other people. Now, Debbie, that got some national attention, didn't it?
Oh, the media attention was just phenomenal. There were front page stories in California, as you mentioned, also here in Charlotte. The story was featured on the NFL Today on CBS, and it was just really incredible that as they came out of, it was a 7-minute video, and James Brown was supposed to read what we call the tag, and he was so choked up he cried. He couldn't read it, and he had to pass the microphone basically over to Boomer, who finished the story for him. So there have been hundreds of thousands of people that have seen the video online. There are,
And here we have it again.
yeah, CBS Sports says that it was their highest rated Thanksgiving Day show that they've ever had. There have been hundreds of people who have signed up as donors as a result of it. So we're really very proud of it and Brian's role in that story. And of course, we have to keep in mind there wouldn't be a story without Chris Henry's mother, without Mrs. Glaspie. She was the one that was able, through her grief, to think about other people she didn't even know. She saved the lives of 4 different people and had an opportunity to meet them. And so it's been an incredible story and has really done a lot to try to not just encourage but inspire other people to consider donation.
And so now, Brian, as we go into this new year of 2011, that you've resolved to do some things. Are you doing some things now different than what you did before?
Yes, basically just changed my lifestyle up and how I live, how I look at life, how I view things. Just very appreciative, very thankful, realizing that I have been given a gift of life, a second chance, and just very grateful, very thankful. Thank God for it. Thank Miss Gatsby for it. Thank Chris for it.
Did you know Chris Henry at all?
No, ma'am, I
Have
did
you ever
not.
met him?
No, ma'am, I did not. Sometimes, though, it's funny how a stranger, a good Samaritan, can help a person he doesn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, when you first realized that you had to go on dialysis,
Mm-hmm.
you had high blood pressure, and that related to your kidney failure.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was it that let you know the doctor just said things are not working? Did you have blackouts?
I was having blackouts. When I got to they rushed me to the hospital. My kidneys had already failed. I was, my Dr. Tierney told me I was dying. If I wasn't so young, I would have already been dead. But like I said, I was 23. So my body was so strong that I hadn't died from it. But my kidneys had already failed. The toxins had built up so great in my body. That's why I was having the blackouts.
And you didn't know it. You know that something was happening different to your body.
Yeah.
But you didn't know exactly what it was.
I didn't know what it was. And I was afraid to go to the doctor and stuff like that, fear and stuff like that. But I had blacked out, and my family members rushed me to my father's house, and then they called the ambulance. They took me to Matthews Presbyterian. And when they got there, my kidneys had been in failure already. So they put me in the hospital for a week, and they start putting catheters and things of that nature in me, and they started dialysis like in a day or two.
You know, this is a good example. That's something we really haven't talked about is prevention.
Right.
And, listening to Brian talk about his story, I hope that other people will take their medication if they have high blood pressure, that they'll go to the doctor and have their blood pressure checked. And that, they'll, diet, watch their diet and exercise, things that ideally will keep people off of dialysis and off of the need for any type of transplant, whether it's a heart or a liver or a lung. Sometimes prevention can make a difference.
And so now you work out every day and you try to keep yourself healthy and you eat right.
Well, actually I started working out maybe 6 years ago while I was on dialysis. See, I was close to 400 pounds.
400?
Yeah, I played football, so when I got
What
out of high
position
school,
did you play?
defensive tackle, offensive tackle. I was 330 pounds in high school. Yeah.
Were you an award-winning football player, offered a lot of scholarships?
I mean, I had opportunities, but I wasn't in the right place mentally to take advantage of my opportunities. I was young.
You got caught up in the moment.
Didn't make the best decisions. So, as a result of that, I didn't go to school. So,
But you had everything given to you, everything at your fingertips, that you could have gone to school and played, perhaps played for a pro team.
I don't know if I could have did all that, but I definitely could have went to college and been successful there. I was good at playing football, so.
And did you love the game as well?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing football. I was I'm more of a dominant type person, so it fit my personality.
You lived, breathed, and slept football.
That's what
And that's what players do when they want to be successful in the game and when they love the game.
Well, yeah, you look at other people who are already doing it, and you train yourself, and you think of how can I get to where they're at, and you think of the things that they did to get there. So you have to figure out, you have to mimic someone. You have to find someone who's already successful, and you have to pattern your life after that person that's already successful so you can achieve what they have already achieved.
And so, who was that person for you, the person that you patterned your life after, the person that you saw as being successful?
And playing football,
Yes.
I like Bruce Smith. He played for the Buffalo Bills. He played in the NFL. I like.
Was he a defensive tackle?
He was a defensive tackle.
And you knew how his life was, that he conditioned himself, that he...
I knew him as a football player. I knew what he done. He was a good football player. He was a guy named Dan Wilkerson, Big Daddy Dan Wilkerson. He played in college. He was a good football player. There was a lot of guys.
Refrigerator Perry.
Yeah, it was a guy named Mo Collins who played for West Charlotte, and he went to play for the LA Raiders. I played against him a couple times. He played for West Charlotte. I played for Independence, but West Charlotte was dominant
At that time.
at that time. Yeah, so he went on to the NFL. He played for Florida or somebody like that, but he's one of the guys I knew from right here in Charlotte. So he went to the NFL. So
Well, thank you so much for sharing your life and for sharing your story. I know that we're going to hear this story many, many times. And I did read about it in the newspaper, so it's a joy and a pleasure that you're here today and that you're sharing your story with this viewing audience, because they're going to be talking about it many, many times and talking about you. And there'll be people who will be looking at you and admiring what you do. And I'm sure you'll be going throughout the city with Debbie as you share what you've done and how your success is, and that the kidney that you have was once the kidney of Chris Henry, the NFL player who was so famous, and now you're famous too. So I want to thank y'all for sharing that and for sharing how the gift of life can make such a difference in your life and the people around you, because when you're happy, the people who are associated with you, they're also happy.
yeah, that's true. And donating your organs is something easy to do, because when you die, you can't take your clothes with you, can't take your car with you, can't take your organs with you. Might as well give them to somebody.
And so,
And we need more African American donors too.
Yeah, especially because we're our blood type. And
what's your blood type?
It was B. It was a rare blood type. It's B.
And was that the same as Chris Henry?
Yeah, it had to be the same. See, Chris Henry blood type in his body has to be similar
To
mine. Yeah, see, his body, he could have easily gave a kidney or the liver or the lungs to the other people because they were smaller individuals. But by me being so big, I couldn't get an organ from you, even if we were the same blood type.
Why?
Because your organ can't support my body size.
Was he a big guy?
He was an NFL player. So he had to at least be 225, 250
I want to thank you
pounds.
so much for sharing it. And Debbie, always thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Joyce. I appreciate
And
the
audience, want to
invitation.
thank you too for being with us. But this little guy played, he's coaching that Waddell. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
He's the new coach and he played in the NFL. I couldn't